Well, hello. I am Lene with Growth Junkie Coaching, energetic transformational coach. I am bringing one of my favorite tools. Um, I had a conversation in one of my groups the other day that um, had I known about this wonderful tool from Access Consciousness called Who Does It Belong To? I think it would have changed so much. And I know it would have changed so much in my world because it's changed so much in my world since I've known it for the last 4 or 5 years. And it's just one of the many modalities that I use when I'm coaching, as well as friends, family, and so forth. This morning I was with a girlfriend, and this is how this tool helps. She came in to the meeting that we were going to, and she was just like, I'm frazzled, I'm kind of like all over the place, I feel like I'm out here, I've kind of got a headache, my energy's down here. Remember, we're talking from an energetic level. And she goes, I just don't feel like myself. And that's when we use this incredible tool slash our awareness, because it's about what it is that we're aware of. Okay, that's like the first step. What is it that I'm aware of? And does that belong to me? And if it doesn't belong to me, what can I do with it? So after she's worked with me before, she's a friend and also a client. And I'm just like, truth, does all of that energy that you're kind of spinning with right now, does it even belong to you? And she's like, just within seconds, it's like, no, I wasn't like that before I spoke with that person or that particular experience. And I said, okay, cool. It doesn't belong to you. Energy is that fast. It connects depending on how intuitive you are, how empathic you are, how sensitive you are, how psychic you are, how aware. And if you're not any of those consciously, like you are those, but you're not aware that you are, then it's happening all the time and you just don't know what to do with it. So that's why I titled the topic of this, if it's, what did I call it? Something to the effect of, oh, if it's not your problem, you can't solve it. If it's not your problem, you can't solve it. So with the gal this morning, it was like we cleared a little bit, and then all of a sudden she started to kind of come back into her body and recognize that she had just taken on the energy and the problems, the energy, we'll just leave it that, of somebody else. So we cleared it, she moved it, she's got the tools, and her day continued. So I had mentioned in my group, the tools and jewels of consciousness, that I put together in one place where you can find the four basic tools from Access Consciousness. Dr. Dain, brilliant, short, fun, and actually he was on I think this tool, he's on the gondola in Venice. I just got back from the gondola in Venice. How does it get any better than that? How cool is that? Anyway, he's the creator, and I wanted to share them all in one place because a lot of you are new to these. And in my coaching, my life, my friends, it's like I just spread it everywhere. If we could lighten up the world by just having a couple tools and using them, gosh, how much greater could everything be? Just being lighter and not being affected by everybody else. We're either affected by it, or we align with it, or we don't try, but we become this space where we're just kind of this interesting place of like, wow, isn't that fascinating that that's what they're experiencing? Isn't that fascinating and interesting what they're choosing? People choose what people choose. And if it's not your problem, you cannot fix it. And a lot of us don't know that. And then all of a sudden, when you start to get that, you're like, wow, I don't actually have any problems. I'm so busy energetically trying to fix everybody else's problems because I didn't know that I had a choice that I didn't. Okay. So I'm throwing at you a bunch of like just little nuggets and things to think about. But in there's a link where I put them all together. Otherwise, you can go find them with Access Consciousness. The four basic tools that I love. And the first one we're talking about is who does it belong to? So, what if like 98%, let's just play with a number, of your thoughts don't belong to you? You have these thoughts. They're created by outside influences, outside points of view, they're energetic connections, and you've bought them as real as yours. Okay. So you're functioning and living your life as if those are yours. And then because you have the thought, now you have the feeling that's attached to the thought. So now you go into reaction. So transformational coaching with me is about undoing all of that so that you're literally choosing for you. And sometimes that's just the process of that's just the process. It's like if I was just choosing for me, what would that be? And that's another great question. Have you asked her if you were just choosing for you, what would that be? So who does it belong to allows you to go, wow, does that even belong to me? I'm going to return that energy, and even to my clients who like you don't need to understand it. Um, you can, you can. I see the energy when we say, who does it, return it to sender, watch it dissipate and go away. But just the words, energy moves that fast. As long as we don't have to make it heavy to try and understand it, just return it to sender. Return that energy. It doesn't belong to me. So I think that's my little nuggets for today. Who does it belong to? And what we're looking for is a space where you're lighter. How many of you are just walking around so heavy with everybody else's stuff, even if you don't want to be walking around with everybody else's stuff, but you don't have the energetic tools to actually eliminate that and disconnect from that. So I introduce you to the tools of access consciousness and so many other, possibilities are there, but everything is energy. And so if we want to eliminate and change a limitation, a belief system, a belief, or something, we got to go to the energy. We got to go below the thoughts, the feelings, and the harmonics. Okay. Those are the lower, but go down there and cut those roots of where it was actually created in your field. So there you go. Who does it belong to? And in recovery, I have said for 32 years, if it's past my nose, it ain't none of my business. That's just kind of a fun one. It connects you with your body, but it's also just a bigger spectrum of like, really, who does this belong to? Is it mine? Is it somebody else's? What is that? How cool. I don't need to understand whose it is or where it belongs. I just know that it doesn't feel like me. It's heavy. Shake it off and return it to sender. So if you can't handle a problem if it's not yours. You can't change. I wrote this down some notes. You can't change a thought, a feeling, or an emotion that isn't yours. But you can do something far much easier, and that is simply return it to whoever it belonged to in the first place. Alrighty. So there's a link here. Download those videos and start practicing, playing with them. And even from the first time, even us talking about it right now, that has shifted your consciousness, that awareness of like, I can have so much more space and so much more of me, especially when it's certain people that you kind of get revved up with. Start to practice that tool. All righty. Well, grand and glorious and beautiful, fantastic, miraculous, miracle-filled day can you choose today? Bye.